And what do I got to do to make them happy? Oh, they want, I don't know, they want focus on diversity. All right, I'm gonna force that down my superintendent's throat. And now the superintendent forced it on the principal, and the principal forced it on the teachers, and just like figure it out. And the teachers are just like, a good teacher. The double-edged sword of being a good teacher is, good teachers understand that it's not that the kids don't get it; it's that you're not teaching it to them the way they need to be taught.
Yeah, word. That's a very rare attitude.
Well, again, they're not set up to maintain that.
Yeah.
But then if they're like, okay, now you guys have to do all the work you guys are doing, but also here's this whole new initiative you guys have to do, and we're not providing any resources or assistance or support for you to do it, figure it out. And then the teacher starts to believe, if I can't get it done, something's wrong with me. It's not something's wrong with the system or the expectations or whatever. It's a really interesting dichotomy from that
The
standpoint.
system is a little bit built to break motherfuckers.
Well, it's built to kind of like it's built with kind of like guardrails to like herd you in a certain area.
Yeah.
And
Nicely put.
When unique free thinkers are like, oh, I'm not trying to get stuck in this crowd. I'm trying to go the other way.
Yeah.
There's going to be repercussions, and the situation with that is like. Again, there's systems in there, and I think the interesting thing about all of that too is, if they literally just flipped the report card, like right now your report card is your academic skills, what's your math, what's your writing, what's your reading, and on the back it'll have your learning skills, like your cooperation, independent work, all of these things. If they prioritize those, and there's actually research that proves that teaching kids those soft skills, teaching kids those soft skills at a very young age, like kindergarten, can increase their net worth by $300,000.
Fuck yes, because you know how to self-navigate.
Well, good things happen to people that people like to be around.
Yo, word!
Right? So now...
Yes, that's facts.
And I feel like then the people who aren't excelling in school, they won't be able to make the same argument of like, oh, my teacher wanted me to cooperate, and I didn't want to cooperate.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't want to cooperate in school, you don't want to cooperate in life, I promise you good things aren't happening for you.
Yo, but
You know what I mean?
here's the thing. That leads me to this exact question I had wanted to mention and ask you this as well. How can you be an, integral thinker, like what's the word? The critical thinker, right? The free spirit, as you say. Like myself, maybe not in those squares, right? I don't like being put in a square and told I have to sit in a box. And I was kind of told I was wrong for that level of creativity. And the thing I've been trying to navigate as a human who I'm okay to be a part of this world. I'm down, but I have to do it kind of creative freedomly. You do it in such a wonderful, grounded, warm style that I often try to channel when I'm with Winnie, because Winnie gets very uncomfortable by how outrageously outside the box I am. So like, from your perspective, because I think you might have an understanding balance that's such a healthy narrative, how can you be the critical thinker that blazes your own trail, but then still, I don't want to say appease the box makers, but make your way through life not so painless, so you're not outcasted and said that things aren't going to happen for you because you won't follow the rules, because I kind of got struck with that sword, and I also just happen to be nice to be around, so
Yeah.
but not everyone's lucky like that. Sometimes people who get literally sorted into criminals only became criminals because they were told that they were wrong, just because they didn't want to follow those set of rules. And so like, what's the narrative going on? You have such a balanced way.
Well, yeah, it's so for example, like guys are generally, for personality scores, will score much lower in agreeability.
Right.
And agreeability is just like, yo, this is how things are going to be. So now, there's different ways that, guys are going to react to that. But now if there's not structure, that's a very quick path into criminal activity.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why there are more men in jail than women. Like, because agreeability is a situation. So the way I look at it is, you can't live in the extremes, and you can't speak with the hyperboles. So you can't look at the box. The boxes aren't your enemy. The boxes were everything that was created had a good intention before it went too far the other way. You know, it swung like a pendulum.
Mm.
You know, training wheels, guardrails, you know, the edge of the pool. All of these are necessary. You know, to a point.
To a point.
And then when you, like, for example, if you can swim in the kiddie pool and you show proficiency, then we put you to the big boy pool.
Yeah.
And you can swim in that and you can show proficiency and go from end to end to the wall. All right, let's take you out to the lake.
Yeah.
You show you can do that? All right, let's throw you in the ocean.
Nice.
No guardrails, complete freedom, everything that you want. No one's telling you where to go, what to do. You're at the women, but you don't start there. Because if you start there, that's chaos and you're going to drown.
Word.
And this is where the issue is. So it's not, I'm a free spirit. It's not, at the end of the day, I think the good way to look at it is follow all the rules and learn all the rules until you become proficient enough to break the rules.
Yeah, and still be stable and not have to succumb to the wild ride of just trying to break every rule for the sake of it.
Yeah, don't look at the rules as the enemy.
Yeah.
Because they didn't come from guys literally rubbing their hands and laughing and scheming. They, they're a reaction. They're a reaction to things.
Yeah.
And they were created by flawed human beings, and they require updating, but they only require updating by people who have proven proficiency.
How can you save yourselves from the extreme self-thinking? You know? You said, like, don't live in the extremes.
So don't live in it. So don't say, like, they wanted to put me in a box and act like that was prison, and say I'm a free spirit and act like, now you have to go completely wild the other way.
Yeah.
So, none of us are supposed to be 100% authentic all the time. That's not. We live in society. We live in civilization that requires a level of compliance, masks, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. Like, you have to put on a smile sometimes when you don't want to. You might have to wait till no one's around before you blow that fart. You might have to, you know what I'm saying? But it's true.